My name is Sanjeev Lathar, and today we'll talk about carcinoma of lung. Now, 2 points just to develop your interest. Lung cancer is currently most frequently diagnosed cancer and is the most common cause of mortality worldwide. Now, straight away going to etiology and pathogenesis. Now, everybody knows what is the main cause of lung cancer. Cigarette smoke and other include tobacco smoking, air pollution, industrial hazards, and molecular genetics, the main part. We'll talk about this later. First, let's come to a conceptual part, the various type of cancer. And you know, the cancers are squamous cell carcinoma, large cell carcinoma, small cell carcinoma, adenocarcinoma. First, we'll talk about squamous cell carcinoma. Now, talking about squamous cell carcinoma, it mainly develops in men, and it is mainly due to tobacco smoke. Now, what are the markers? How we will able to detect that it is squamous cell? These are P63 and P40. Okay. Now, the molecular genetic part and the main part. You can remember like this. How it occurs? It is due to chromosome deletion, first thing. And what are the various part? They are the just multiple of 3. 3, 9, 18, but it is not 18, 17. Just remember like this. 3, 9, 18. The last is not 18, it is 18 minus 1, 17. Just a small mnemonic. Now 9p. P obviously you know the small arm. Code for CDKN2A and 17p code for T53 part. These are tumor suppressor genes. And also RB gene loss will cause squamous cell in 15% of cases. CDKN2A, if there is inactivation, it will lead to squamous cell in 65%. And recently developed FGFR1 is fibroblast growth factor receptor tyrosine kinase. If there is hyperactivation, it also causes squamous cell. Don't remember the full form, just remember the FGFR1. Now, talking straight away coming to its morphology. Now, before talking morphology, a small concept of general path just to brush up your knowledge. How cancer develop? First, this basal cell hyperplasia. Then there is squamous metaplasia. There is dysplasia, metaplasia. There is changes of one form to another. Dysplasia is disorder growth. The form is changed and there is disorder growth, and it is limited to one part that will lead to carcinoma, but in situ. And after months or maybe years, depending on the carcinoma, here it goes. It develops into cancer. Now continuing the morphology part, by this time the carcinoma in situ part will talking about carcinoma in situ and then invasive. This time the carcinoma in situ, there is a phase that carcinoma in situ, there is formation of atypical cells. Means it is not normal, it is not cancerous, it is a way between, it is ahead of developing cancer. Okay. It may be identified in cytologic smear of sputum. You can say the atypical cells are metaplastic. They have changed from one form to another. Now continuing its morphology, although lesion is asymptomatic and also it is undetectable on radiograph, this is not a good thing. The carcinoma in situ is asymptomatic and undetectable on radiograph, and this will eventually lead to an invasive, the metastatic form of squamous cell carcinoma. And how it grows? This is the old theory. How it grows? It grows exophytically in bronchus like a cauliflower, and if not directed, it can grow inside the bronchus, exophytically and peribronchial. And as I told, the pattern is cauliflower like, interparenchymal mass, and color is grey white, and hardness is femto hard. Just to remember, to visualize the cancer, to develop your interest. Now, one thing you have to remember in the cancer, if mitotic rate is high, it will lead to necrosis, and it is not a good sign. To have necrosis and mitotic rate high is not a good sign. Bulky tumor will develop if there is high mitotic rate. Mitotic rate high will lead to necrosis, and tumor have its own blood supply. It will lead to hemorrhage, and white will change into red. That you have to remember. There is softening also. There is mottling and softening. And the main part that differentiate it from all tumor is keratinization. Also, squamous cell, you can relate squamous cell with the production of keratin, and keratin production will lead to formation of squamous pearls. I will be showing the image at the last. And mitotic rate is high in poorly differentiated tumors. Now, पहले कहा जाता था in past that it grows from bronchus. Now it is said that it develops from the periphery of the lung. This is a new theory. Now talking about small cell carcinoma, strongest association is with cigarette smoke. Cigarette smoke के साथ strongest association है, and it is the most aggressive tumor, most widely spreading and most fatal too. Despite diverse histologic features, it shows many molecular forms with squamous cell carcinoma. How? You can see T53, RB, 3P, bingo. You don't have to remember much in squamous cell in molecular genetics. Only one thing, MYC gene activation. These three are same. T53, RB, 3P. And only thing you have to remember is MYC gene activation. T53 lowers in causes this small cell in 75 to 90%. RB 100%. If there is RB loss, in 100% cases small cell carcinoma develop होगा ही होगा. Now continuing its morphology, name is small but it is highly dangerous. And as I told earlier, नाम पे मत जाइए. Appearances are deceptive. Small cell है but it is highly dangerous. Name is small but highly dangerous and may arise in bronchi or periphery of the lung as squamous cell. And small cell है तो obviously there will be a scant cytoplasm. Cytoplasm के लिए जगह नहीं है. Obviously there will be absent or inconspicuous nuclei and there is ill-defined border also. Now nucleoli are absent but there is presence of fine granular nuclear chromatin which give rise to a pattern known as salt and pepper pattern. This you have to remember. Now how small it is? Just to compare with small resting lymphocyte, it is 3 times smaller than small resting lymphocyte. Just to develop that how small it is. Now mitotic count is high. Mitotic count should be high because it is highly dangerous. Mitotic count high होगा ही होगा. Necrosis is common. That's why necrosis is common, extensive. Now another thing, there is इतनी high necrosis है, there is formation of Azzopardi effect. Now what is this? This is a blood vessel. You know that tumor has their own blood supply. Blood vessel, let's say this is blood vessel and these are tumor cell. They grow at very high rate. Now इतनी high mitotic rate है तो they will start necrosis होने लगेंगे इनमें, and the DNA will come out and it will deposit and there will be incrustation of DNA around it. Okay, it will lead to a basophilic staining of DNA tumor. That is called Azzopardi effect. You understand? There is formation of DNA pattern around the blood vessel due to high mitotic rate. There will necrosis, DNA will come out and incrustation of DNA around blood vessel is called Azzopardi effect. Okay, this is the main thing. Now electron microscopy, dense core, there is presence of neurosecretory granules. It suggests that it arises from neuroendocrine cells. Now where these neuroendocrine cells are located, in bronchus there is not only the ciliated cells, this also neuroendocrine cells which have their own nerve supply, and obviously names such as endocrine, it will leads to formation of hormones. One of them in small cell is parathormone secretion. Now, talking about is immunohistochemistry, there is hyperactivation of BCL2 in 90% of cases. And BCL2 is anti-apoptotic. Anti-apoptosis फैक्टर बढ़ेगा तो एपोप्टोसिस कम होगी, दैट्स will lead to cancer. Now coming to large cell carcinoma, straight away coming to its morphology, it lacks the basic cytologic feature of other forms of cancer. This is the main thing. That's why it is diagnosis of exclusion. Squamous cell नहीं है, small cell नहीं है, adeno नहीं है, so large cell है. I will showing the histology, then you will be able to differentiate. Now it has name suggests large nuclei and prominent nucleoli, and obviously there is nucleoli ने थोड़ी जगह घेर ली तो moderate amount of site होगा, नहीं तो large होता. And it metastasizes to various parts, bronchial, tracheal, and in 50% of cases to mediastinal nodes and also adrenal glands. And how it spreads, the three modes of spread: direct seeding into body cavities, lymphatic and hematogenous. It prefer two among them, that is lymphatic and hematogenous, and it spread to liver in 30 to 50%, and into brain in 20%, and to bone in also 20% of cases. Now talking about adenocarcinoma, it has gain of function mutation. Now here comes a different part. पहले deletions हो रही थी, अब there is gain of function mutation of growth factor receptor signaling pathways. The growth factor receptor signaling pathways, tyrosine kinase. These are EGFR, ALK, ROS, MET, RET. You can remember 2 or 3, any of them. EGFR, RET, MET. Just remember this. These are easy to remember. RET, MET, EGFR. Now they have 3 forms. AAH, which are atypical adenomatous hyperplasia. Then there is main part, that is adenocarcinoma, and in between adenocarcinoma in situ. Okay. Atypically, it is not typically adenomatous. It is just a hyperplastic part. I have told you that hyperplasia, metaplasia, dysplasia, carcinoma in situ, then cancer. Now it is small lesion. अभी small है, अभी बच्चा है. It is characterized by dysplastic pneumocyte which is lining the alveolar wall. Now these are mildly fibrotic. That's it. That's you have to remember in AH. Now adenocarcinoma in situ, size बढ़ गया, smaller than 3 centimeter. These are entirely dysplastic. वो entirely dysplastic नहीं थे, and they may or may not have intracellular mucin. Now ये इंट्रासेलुलर म्यूसिन का कॉन्सेप्ट कहाँ से आ गया? एडिनो मीन्स ग्लैंड, glands mean mucin. Only this is the analogy. Adeno means gland होगा तो mucin production होगा. इसमें हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता है. It is not a particular typical adenocarcinoma. It is in situ. It is not developing a wholesome adenocarcinoma. Here it grows in adenocarcinoma. There is invasive malignant epithelial tumor, and obviously there will be glandular differentiation. Now it grows in various patterns. It grows in various patterns like acinar, lipidic, papillary, and micropapillary. And these lesions are more peripheral compared to squamous cell. Talking about histology, it may be well differentiated होगा, अपने नाम को रिप्रेजेंट करेगा, यानी ग्लैंडुलर एलिमेंट्स होंगे. Papillary lesions, just remember it resemble other papillary tumors and papillary carcinomas. And solid mass यानी obviously solid हो गया तो कहाँ से आ जाएगा? There is no mucin, so only occasional mucin production glands. And this part you have to remember is majority express TTF1. This you have to remember. Now what is TTF1? It is thyroid transcription factor 1, and it helps in lungs development. That's why it is expresses TTF1, and at periphery of tumor there is often lipidic pattern of spread. So only thing you have to remember adenoma is name को split करो. Adenoma means gland, means mucin. 3 part AAH, adenocarcinoma in situ, adenocarcinoma. स्मॉल से बड़ा होएगा, स्मॉल है पहले 5 mm से छोटा है, उसके बाद 3 सेंटीमीटर से छोटा है, उसके बाद फॉर्मेशन ऑफ म्यूसिन. पहले डिस्प्लास्टिक कम थे, फिर डिस्प्लास्टिक ज्यादा. पैटर्न सेसिना लिपिडिक, पेपिलरी, माइक्रो पेपिलरी. वेल डिफरेंशिएटेड होगा तो ग्लैंडुलर होगा, सोल्डी में ग्लैंड नहीं है तो म्यूसिन. वेरी रेयरली पेपिलरी रिजेंबल अदर पेपिलरी कार्सिनोमास. Now talking about their histologies. Now see, I have told you there is formation of keratinization in squamous cell carcinoma. See, these black arrows are showing keratinization. These black arrows are showing keratinization. You are seeing this? These are keratinization, their formation of squamous pearls. Now see this Azzopardi effect. Beautifully seen. Necrosis around blood vessel, encrustation of DNA in small cell carcinoma. Now you are seeing glands in this, so it is adenocarcinoma. Interstitium is pink, so it is invasive. Now see large cell. Large cell have various patterns. There is no typical cell you are seeing. There is not like there is oval or something like that. There are different type of cells. There is no particular cytologic pattern of the lung carcinoma. Now talking about etiology, coming to etiology part. Etiology are tobacco smoking, air pollution, industrial hazard, molecular genetics. Almost in tobacco smoking there is almost linear correlation with number of packs of cigarette smoke in development of lung cancer. And lung cancer develops only in 11% of heavy smokers. I will tell you what is the meaning of pack years. These are just a remembrance part, just to how invasive it is, how it causes, and to develop your interest, nothing more. Now passive smoking is not sparing lung. It causes cancer 2 times of more frequency than a non-smoker. Also there is specific P450 polymorphism. P450 liver, it is responsible for mainly activation of pro-carcinogens into carcinogens. If it has polymorphism, this process will be increased, and carcinogen, then carcinoma. Now this part I have told you. Now talking about industrial hazards. Industrial hazard include asbestos, arsenic, chromium, uranium, nickel, which develop lung cancer. And all of them you will be knowing the Hiroshima and Nagasaki incident, that how it. Now just to develop how this industrial hazard, how dangerous it is. Now these are some, I have developed some mathematics just to, so that it will become easy for you. Non-smoker, but it is working uranium, uranium mines, and the incident of lung carcinoma is 4 times that of non-smoker. Asbestos associated is most frequent malignancy of lung carcinoma. You will see that asbestos, but it is non-smoker, the frequency is 5 times that of non-smoker. The development of lung carcinoma, but he is smoking also, the frequency increased to 55%. This said that only heavy smoking is not the predisposing factor. There is other forms also. Air pollution, radon is the main causing part, and this completes our lung carcinoma. Thank you.